Hello class, welcome to another StatCrunch video tutorial to help you with your homework. This will be for online Pearson Homework 3. This first tip here will help you on problems 4 and 5 where you have to construct a box plot. So remember, for a box plot you need the 5-number summary: min, Q1, Q2, Q3, and max. I'm on problem 5 right now. Notice there is a set of data here and they're not even ordered. So watch StatCrunch help us crunch all the numbers. Click on this icon, open it up in StatCrunch. And here we are. You're going to want to go to Stat, Summary Stats, and Column so that we can select column var1. And that's what we'll do. We'll select column var1. And by default, it's already going to show us all of these things which are highlighted once I press compute. So once you press compute, there they are. Min, Q1, median, which is the same as Q2, Q3, and max. So the computer has helped us figure out all of those things for us automatically. Please be aware that you need to be able to do this by hand in class without help of a computer. Okay, moving on. I'm going to skip ahead now to problem 9, which is dealing with probability distributions. Question 8 also deals with probability distributions, so this tutorial here should help you with both questions. I'm going to pick a similar question because I've already answered this one. So notice there's a probability distribution with random x values. They go from 0 to 3, and random probabilities for each of those x's. The first question is asking, is this a true probability distribution or not? Remember, all the probabilities must add up to exactly 1. So I'm going to start using StatCrunch now to help me avoid paper and pencil or just basic calculator work. So click on this icon again, open up all this data in StatCrunch. So the first thing I want to figure out is, do the probabilities add up to exactly 1? So this is the column labeled P of X. Go to Stat again, Summary Stats again, Columns. And this time I want to deal with the probability column, which is the second one. And I just want to add them up to see if they add up to 1 or not. That means you care about the sum. So let me click sum. And let's compute this. And let's see if it's equal to 1 or not. And there we go. The sum is 1. So I know this table is in fact a probability distribution. I can answer this question now. Yes, it's a probability distribution. Good job. All right, moving on. Now it wants me to calculate mu, which stands for mean. And when you're talking about probability distributions, it's the same thing as expected value. So let's go back to our StatCrunch table. And this thing is basically a very basic spreadsheet. Let me show you how to compute each of the rows that you would have done by hand. So let me go over here. So I want this row. What do I want in order to figure out mu? Well, I want the product. I want the product of x times P of X, like I showed you in class last week. So this time, go to Data and Compute Expression. So right now, I'm going to be typing in exactly what I want to be computed in this new column var3. And here's what I want. I want column X, so I'm going to do double quote X, close double quote. I want to multiply, so I use the asterisk, Shift 8 on my keyboard. And I want to multiply it by the column P of X. So I go double quote again. You need the double quotes because you are identifying the name of the column, P of X. And then don't forget to close the double quote. So this will give me the product of X times X, but the nice thing is it's going to do it for all 4 rows after I click compute. And there they are. So this has done the work for me automatically. Remember, for mu of X, you want the sum of all of these products. You want the sum of this. So how do we do that? Well, remember, just go back to stat, right? Summary stats, columns, and notice, look, there's this column now which I just created. I want the sum of these rows, okay, everything under that column. I want all those rows added together. So I click that, and what did I say I wanted? I wanted the sum. And now it's going to do all the work for me. So this number right here represents the mu, or the mean, or the expected value of this probability distribution. 0.888. Let's go back to the question now on the homework. It says round to 1 decimal place as needed. So you cannot type in 0.888. You have to round it according to their directions. 0.9. It got rounded up. Okay, that was good. We're almost done now. One more problem. It's asking for the standard deviation of this random variable x, which is part of this probability distribution. Let's go back to StatCrunch one more time. Let's make a new column that we want. So I'm going to click right here on this entry. I'm going to go to data now again so that I can compute a specific expression. So remember, the variance is something like x minus mu quantity squared times p of x. Let me type all of that in right now. So open parentheses, I want an x. Notice I used the double quotes again. I'm going to subtract mu, and I remember what my mu was. It was 0.888. Again, save as many decimal place values as you can along the way, because sometimes there may be rounding errors if you round too early, or if you drop too many decimal place values. You may not get the right answer at the end. You might be off by a little bit. Let me close the parentheses, and I want to square this, so it's caret. The symbol is called a caret. It's Shift 6 on my keyboard, and I want to raise it to the second power, so I put a 2. And then what's the last part of this? I want to multiply by p of x again. Do not forget the double quotes, because you are naming that column. Don't forget to close the double quotes as well. Okay, I'm very close to done now. This should compute all the rows so that it will help me find the variance. Compute. And there we go. It did a lot of the work for me. I basically just had to write the formula correctly as an expression. So let's wrap this up now. I need the sum of all these rows. That gives me my variance, which is sigma squared. So let's go to stat again. Stat, summary, column. See this new column that I made, the fourth one? I want to add that up. So I select it. And I care just about the sum, so I go to sum. Compute this for me. Now I have the sum. This number right here, 0.627456, is the variance of x in this probability distribution. Let's go to our question now. The question is not asking for the variance, it's asking for the standard deviation. So I am one step away. I'm going to break out my calculator, and I'm going to take the square root of that number. So the square root of 0.627456. My calculator says 0.7921, so on. Again, 0.7921, a whole bunch of other digits. So here it says round to one decimal place value. I'm going to do that. I'm going to round 0.792 up to 0.8. Okay, and so this is a nice way to get your homework done a little bit smoother, avoiding a little bit of the manual labor, the manual computations. I hope that was helpful. This should help you with problems 4, 5, 8, and 9 on homework 3. Have a nice Sunday, everybody.